Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Ultimate Movie Fan 11. Today we're going to be starting our first review franchise, which we're going to be reviewing every entry in the Friday the 13th franchise. Alright, and first off, of course we're starting off with the classic, the original. I do not like this movie. This, fight me about it. This is the worst in the franchise. Fight me. Okay, what anyone says, this is the worst in the franchise here. And, you know, there definitely are some bad ones in this franchise. But this is the worst. Easily, the worst. Fight me. I know it's a classic. I understand that it's a classic. I can understand why you love it. But I don't. And is there a problem with that? Alright, I should probably stop yelling and get into a review. So, of course, we have to start off with the positive note of the film. Start off with the ending. Like the last 15 minutes or something. You know, the fight between Mrs. Voorhees, Pamela. You know, that's really good. And that's really good. I like Mrs. Voorhees. She's a really good killer. She's pretty good. Really good killer. And then, like I said, the last 15 minutes, I think it is, when they are fighting, she cuts off her head, and Jason jumps out of the water, Swampy Boy pulls her down. Yeah, I really like that. I should get out of the way that some of the kills, I will get into the other kills later, are really good. Like I said, Mrs. Voorhees' kill, it's a good decapitation. Yeah, there's a funny story behind it. I learned this from the movies that made us on Netflix, which is an awesome show. You should totally go watch that. But the scene where, like, she has her head cut off and she reaches up like that was like a man. That was like a 40-year-old man. I forget his name. If you guys could tell me in the comments, if YouTube lets me have them on, what his name was, that'd be awesome. But yeah, and you see the hairy knuckles. But yeah, and like I said, the kill, and then the other kill I really like is Kevin Bacon's. Kevin Bacon's just a good actor, you have to admit. He was in Tremors. That's my favorite role of his, Tremors. Let me know if you want me to do that franchise. But, like I said, the arrow through the neck, you know, he's sitting on the bed, Mrs. Voorhees grabs him like that, Pamela, and then, that's really good, you have to admit, man, or woman, I don't know, but, my DVD's open, or Blu-ray, but now, it's time to get into the negatives. Oh yeah, I have one more positive. This poster's awesome. Awesome. Sorry, that's my dog's barking. But, just try to ignore it. But yeah, this poster is awesome. Don't care what anybody says. Now it's time for the negatives. Alright, first of all, this is one of the most boring movies I've ever seen. Like, even the scenes where stuff's happening, people are getting killed, nothing happens. Like, just like a simple off-screen stab. That's another thing I should say. Most of the kills, like Mrs. Christie's killer, the teenager, this guy at the beginning, they're all off-screen stabs. Or how about the girl, his girlfriend, this guy's girlfriend? That guy. His girlfriend, not, that's Alice. She's just like, and then, boom. Nothing happens. It's like so, like, repetitive. It's so repetitive. Then there's like the 15-minute scene. I think it's 15 minutes. The 15-minute scene where it's like just Alice making coffee for like 5 minutes. I know, I want you to look at me dead in the eyes and think. You have to watch a girl make coffee for like 5 minutes straight. So, like, come on. Really, movie? Really? So yeah. And why don't I tell a little story about this movie? So I first watched this movie. I don't know what it was. First watched this movie. It was around Halloween time. And I first watched this movie. It was on TV one night. That's already a bad sign. That means they already cut all of the stuff. It was probably more like the theatrical cut here than the uncut version. So yeah, I watched it. I actually loved it, which is what got me into the franchise. And as you guys know, it is now my favorite franchise of all time. And then one day, we were on a trip. Forget to where. And I was bored. And sure enough, it wasn't this, but I had a DVD copy of the film. And I brought it along with me. I don't know, can't remember why. I was bored. I had a DVD player with me. I popped this sucker in. I was like, oh, I gotta revisit some nice nostalgia from this film. No. There was no nostalgia from this film. There was no nostalgia from this film. This film sucked. It's the worst of the franchise. I don't care what anybody says. Oh yeah, and then there's another thing I should mention. You know the scene in the movie where they cut off the snake's head? They killed the real snake. Now this story's pretty famous, but I just want to mention it because when I first learned it, I didn't know of it. And they just killed the snake. The worst thing was, it was a pet they rented from some magician guy. I forget his name. And once again, if you let me know his name in the comments, if YouTube lets me have them on, that'd be great. But they killed the pet without letting him know. Like, they didn't get permission from him to kill his pet. Just imagine, like, they're like, hey, we came to return your snake. He's like, yay, my snake, and he opens it up and it's in 2 pieces. Just imagine that for a second. Like, your beloved pet, somebody doing that to them. Okay, but I don't want to talk about that much more since it's pretty sad. Yeah, this was a much shorter review than I usually do. But a lot of people think this is a horror classic. I can see why. I do not. Do I recommend this film? Depends who you are. But, yeah, I know this was a shorter review. And if you think with my last review and this one, oh, you're just feeling all the movies. You're being so negative. Stop being so negative. Don't worry. We got Friday the 13th Part 2 review coming either tomorrow or sometime soon. And don't worry, we will get away from the negatives. Anyway, I'm Ultimate Movie Fan 11. See you in the next one.